Howdy, folks. Greyhawk 4x4 coming at you again, your resident vintage gamer. Uh, Happy Mother's Day. Hello, Chupa. Happy Mother's Day to. Oh, man. Just bit my damn tongue. Ow. That's not a good way to start off a fucking live. Ow. Let's try that again. Happy Mother's Day to any and all that are watching that are mothers out there. Hello, Lindis. So I don't know if we're going to do a half an hour or an hour today. I don't know. I didn't think there'd be anybody in here. It's Mother's Day. I thought, well, a lot of people probably will be doing family stuff and all that. So it all depends upon the kind of the turnout we get. But it's already got 2 people in here, so it's looking good. So anyway, we're going to do some gaming news stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about our campaign back here, even though I'm going to do a separate campaign update. Got a big show and tell for you guys, and we'll go from there. So, we're also going to talk a little bit about movies and stuff. We do that sometimes, and I want to start this off by saying that anybody that gets in here that starts to try and do any spoilers for the Doctor Strange thing, I will be very quick with the ban hammer if I see anybody come in here and try and do any Doctor Strange spoilers or whatever, because I heard that there's like major spoilers and that's not cool. So I know the 2 people that are, or well, I don't know who the 3rd person is in here, but the 2 that I see on the screen here that have commented, they're both regulars, so I'm not worried about them. But like, if we see anybody else jump in, every once in a while we get like raided where a bunch of people, just a big people from another channel just jump in or whatever. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen, and because I could see that being bullshit, So anyway, so let's start off with some. Well, let's do the campaign stuff back here. So we had a 2-week hiatus. I was on vacation, and then one of the weeks, our DM Jonathan was swamped at work because he works at a nursery, doing sales at a nursery, and it's springtime, and he's working like 7 days a week right now. So we had a 2-week hiatus, but we did play last Friday, and we started back up. And if you remember, we were talking about doing kind of splitting the campaign with a north section of the campaign and a southern section, and the 2 people going north had quests going north, and so the other 2 player characters, me and Brad, would roll separate characters from our regular characters to go to the northern campaign, and they would do vice versa to go to the southern. So that's what we did. So when I do the update, I'll talk about the character that I rolled. Brad rolled another fighter, but I went completely different. And we're going to get into all that when I do the campaign update, which will be tomorrow. I will do the campaign update video tomorrow. So it was a fun session. I will say this, that I don't know if this happens with you guys in your tabletop gameplay, but if we have a hiatus, whether it's 2 weeks or like sometimes over Christmas holidays, we've gone longer, where 3 or 4 weeks where we haven't played or whatever. I don't know about you guys, but when we get back together after a hiatus, we generally chew up a bunch of time bullshitting and kind of getting everybody getting caught up on what they've been doing, whatever projects they're working on, whatever, I don't know if that just seems to be the history with me, all through the years. It's always been that way, that kind of the social thing, you get back together and you want to tell stories and all that stuff. So this particular Friday, yeah, we did a lot of that, but I'd be interested to know if you guys experience the same type of thing, if you guys have a break and then you get back together, if that kind of thing goes on. So so that takes care of that. Now let's talk about, there's some gaming news stuff I wanted to talk about here. One of them is D&D-ish related. There is a game on Steam. It's the D&D board game Tomb of Annihilation. Is Tales from Candlekeep. Tomb of Annihilation is being delisted this month from Steam on the 20th. So if you do not get it by the 20th of May, you will not be able to get it on Steam. There's a licensing agreement, I guess, that expires. There was some type of licensing agreement with, I'm trying to see the name of the company here. BKOM Studios is whatever. They're terminating their licensing agreement, or it's expiring, or whatever. And it says, while it will no longer be possible to acquire the game or any of the additional content on that date, the developer explains players who have the game in their Steam library will still be able to play it and enjoy all of its content. So there you go. If you guys want to get that game, if you're completionist like me, like on Steam, I have all the D&D titles, and that was, that's one of them. It's a board game, but it's still D&D related, and I got it when it was on sale, luckily. But if you want that, you have till the 20th to pick it up. So that was one thing I wanted to let you guys know about. Linda says, "Hell, we forget each other's names sometimes." That's funny. Our old selves tend to talk about what new medications we're on. We do that too. Because there's 3 of us in our group that are over 50. Brad, me, and Niels are all over 50 years old. So yes, that does occur. It's sad to say, but that is, yeah, whatever malady or illness or condition or whatever somebody's dealing with tends to get discussed, so I guess that's just part of getting over or getting older. So Chuba says, yeah, we're all over. Well, yeah, if you're all over 50, yeah, that's yeah, we have a couple of people that are in their 20s and 30s. So and then we have other people that pop in from time to time, which are younger. But yeah, it's old folks. Yeah, that's a sad fact. So let's see what other gaming news we got to talk about here. So that was one that jumped out at me. How do you guys feel about that? With we've talked a little bit before about digital versus like physical media, which I don't even think physical media is available anymore for most games now. It's all digital at this point, so it's not like we have a choice. But this is the kind of thing I'm talking about, where this game specifically, you'll still be able to play everything it says if you already own it. But I have a feeling, if it hasn't already happened, that there's going to be games that isn't the case. There's going to be games that are going to be taken off of Steam, and not only will you not be able to buy it anymore, if you already own it, you won't have access to it. I have a bad feeling that that's going to happen. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Because Linda says, I like solid objects. I like having things in my game room, boxes, artwork, etc. I don't like all this digital stuff. Well, I think you guys know my stance on it. I mean, look around. So I think we find ourselves in agreement there, Linda. But unfortunately, the sign of the times is I think those days are coming to an end. Now, what's one of the strange byproducts of all this is, if you notice, the vintage gaming market is going through the roof. Whether it's tabletop, role-playing stuff, and video game stuff, Atari, Intellivision, ColecoVision, NES, Sega, all that stuff. Any of that old hardware games, all that stuff is going through the roof. So I'm not sure what is triggering that. If it's people coming around to our way of thinking that shit, it's kind of nice to have physical stuff that you don't have to rely on the internet to be up and running uh, to have a good time. That you can have some entertainment or whatever. Same thing with Blu-rays and DVDs and shit. Vinyl, vinyl records is a big deal now. And we all remember, all of us that are old, we remember when vinyl died, cassette tapes came out. You had 8 tracks and then you had cassette tapes. Then cassette tapes died because CDs came out. And then, CDs died because MP3 came out. Everything went digital. But now you're seeing a big market for all that old physical media, vinyl being one of the big ones. So I have a huge vinyl collection. Still have them. Still have all my records. So I have a lot of old VHS tapes that apparently that's a big thing now too. If you've got stuff on old VHS, so yeah, it's kind of a renaissance thing, I guess. So um, Chuba says, yeah, I don't like the PDF stuff much. Yeah, I'm not. I don't. It's nice to have the PDF also, so that in a situation where I don't know, when we went to GaryCon a few years back, I ended up DMing impromptu session. I did a 5th edition of the Keep on the Borderlands reprint from Goodman Games that has the original in it and then the 5th edition in it and all that. And so in that type of situation, I had the book because I bought it at the convention. But if I just had a laptop and I had access to a PDF and it's a pickup game, let's say of or whatever, it's nice to just have the PDF on your computer and you can run off the PDF or whatever. But far and above, I want my physical stuff. So for me, the PDF is just the cherry on top of the cake, where all my physical stuff is the cake. And then yeah, I also happen to have a PDF if I need it. So Linda says that is a very good point. My local store has all kinds of retro stuff for sale. I love it. Yeah, it's and it's what's crazy is the prices are going through the roof. So like all my old collection and stuff, if I ever decided to sell my collection, it would be a lot of work, but it's good to know that it's kind of like having a nice little nest egg of emergency funds. So, um, Linda says, I'm also starting my vinyl collection, and let me tell you, vinyl is everywhere these days. Yeah, it's weird because like new artists are putting out stuff on vinyl in addition to the MP3s and all. They're dropping albums again too. So, Chiba says, I will buy my old modules in print on Drive-Thru RPG as not to ruin my originals when DMing. I do love the print on demand thing because I did that for my Greyhawk folio, the original Greyhawk folio, because those are very collectible. I did that exact thing you're talking about, Chupa. It was like $10 to do a print on demand. So I have that. That's the one I DM with. I can highlight in it. I don't give a shit. Highlight it, dog ear it, doesn't matter. Something gets spilled on it, I ain't gonna get upset. And my collectibles are safely tucked away. So yeah, I'm there with you on that for sure. So. Oh, by the way, my wife and I have still got to watch the finale of Moon Knight. So also, if anybody saw it, don't spoil the finale for that. My wife and I, she's working today because of the type of person that she is. Both of our mothers are long passed on, and she is not a mother. My wife is not a mother. So she works on Mother's Day so that the other girls that do have kids and so forth can be with their families. That's the type of woman I'm married to that does that kind of stuff for people. She's a hell of a lot nicer than I am sometimes, I'll tell you what. But yeah, she does that. She does it on Halloween too, so they can take their kids trick or treating. She works Halloween night, so they can take their kids trick or treating. But when she gets off today, hopefully we'll get caught up on Moon Knight, finish that off, and then we still have to see Doctor Strange. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Let's see here. Linda says, I play with a guy who likes grab books by their pages and carry them roughly. No one trusts him with our books. I wouldn't trust him either. I wish Jonathan, our DM, I wish he was in here right now, because he is a true bibliophile. Now he's a young guy. He's in his 20s. His soul is the same age as me and Brad and Niels. He's an old man in his soul, because he has his house and he has it just the way he wants it, and he's got his library. And when I say this guy's got a library, he doesn't have any paperback that I know of. He gets everything on hardback, and I mean the nice leather-bound hardbacks. He's got a gorgeous library. That is what he decided to invest his money in, and it is fantastic. And him seeing that, I would have loved for him to be in here just to see what his reaction to that would be, because he is, he's a bibliophile, and that would be like a hate crime right there. So, so back on the movie thing, I don't know if you guys caught the latest trailer, the final trailer for Maverick, the Top Gun sequel, that was supposed to be out right when the pandemic hit, and it's been delayed all this time because of the pandemic. It's finally coming out May 25th. Apparently everybody that has seen it has said it's far well and above and better than the original. Now, a lot of people that saw Top Gun later in life, that didn't see it when it first came out, probably thought, oh, it was cheesy, da da da. My memory of the original Top Gun was we had never seen anything like that before. We had never seen aerial combat with jet fighters filmed that well, with that kind of attention to detail and all that. So it was kind of groundbreaking. And then you had other movies that came after that and all that. But hey, Bastille. So apparently the sequel, Maverick, is supposed to be much better even than the original. So I am anxious to see it, because I did like the original Top Gun. I thought it was a good movie. So I'm kind of looking forward to that now. So, by the way, Bastille, couple things. As you're a mod, if anybody jumps in here that isn't a regular, like all the regulars, people that start jumping in that aren't regulars, if you see anybody that looks like they might be getting ready to spoil the Doctor Strange movie, because apparently there's some really big spoilers in that, you can go mute them or whatever, so they don't spoil it for everybody. Because I'm assuming there's other ones. I may not be the only one in here that hasn't seen it yet, so I don't think any of us want to have that spoiled. So I'm assuming almost most of you guys in here that are in here right now probably saw the original Top Gun when it came out. I don't know if you agree with me that it was kind of a groundbreaking film. It kind of reminded me, not to the same extent as the original Star Wars, when that Imperial cruiser is going overhead and everybody at the movie theater is like, holy shit, because no one had ever seen anything like that. I mean, it was awe-inspiring watching this for the first time. Top Gun had a similar effect with the aerial combat in jets. Now, we're not talking about World War II fighters and stuff. No, we're talking about F-16s and stuff like that, and the way they filmed it with full speed and maneuvering and all that other stuff. I don't think it had ever been done before in a movie. So, yeah, and Linda, the story and the romance and all that other stuff, to me, was superfluous at that time, because I was just enjoying watching, a very realistic depiction of what the Navy does to train its fighter pilots, and what they go through, and the training, and the skill, and I was just like, holy crap, that's awesome, you know. So I hope Maverick is supposed to be even better, so I'm looking forward to it. Um, okay, so we did the one PC gaming news. Let's see if there's any other related gaming news. That was PC gaming and D&D related, kind of, because it was a D&D title. Let's see here. Anything else going on? Let's see. Oh, did you guys see the? I'm interested to know if anybody else saw this story. Star Citizen. Did you guys see the latest controversy with Star Citizen? So those that don't know, Star Citizen has something like almost $500 million. It's like $450 million, almost $500 million in crowdfunding that they have raised since they first started crowdfunding for it and everything. And the game still has no release date, and they're still taking money from people and all this. And yes, they're showing content updates on what they're working on and all this, but the game still hasn't got any kind of a release date. And so it keeps going and going. The latest thing that set everybody into fucking orbit, and I don't blame them, is uh, it's funny to even say this. They announced that they're working on the bed sheet deformation physics. So they're concerned with the physics, like if you're in your, because I guess it has space combat, all that other stuff on ship, and then it has stuff when you have like whether your ship your bed is on the ship or your bed is at a starbase or whatever. They're working on the deformation physics of the bed sheets, and people went through the stratosphere because they're like, who gives a shit about the fucking bed sheets? Release the goddamn game so that people who paid $500 million in crowdfunding can play the goddamn game. Um, yeah, I mean, so literally it set off a firestorm. Why would they even, knowing their audience and their audience also being investors, why would they put something like, even if they were working on it, why put that out there? That's like throwing, raw meat into the lion cage, you know? Uh, I mean, say you're working on, like the physics of the jet, the ion engines or whatever, the look of the ion, something at least like that people would be excited about, maybe that it'll look cool, or whatever. Bed sheets? Come on. So, yes, that crap is still going on with those people. That is correct, Lindis. So there's a huge, yeah, a huge movement that people are saying, well, this is obviously, at this point, it's obviously a scam for them to keep funneling money from people, with no promise of ever putting the game out. But yet people are still giving them money. So, Palindrome Paladin, happy Mother's Day and happy Sunday. Hello, Palindrome. Happy Mother's Day to you. Do you think it's incompetence, or are they hiding something? I don't know that it's incompetence, because you can play the game if you spend more money. I forget what the tiers are. You can play like the alpha or the beta or whatever it is in now. I think it's still alpha. You can play parts of it, like segments of it, as a tester or something like that. But it's like, I think it's like $150 or something like that. I mean, it's so I don't know that they're incompetent, because what they show is quite impressive. The videos that they've shown, and people that have played it, that have spent the money to play it, have said that it's awesome and all these other things. But Palindrome. I'm guessing that topic is that sci-fi PC game. If we're talking about Star Citizen, that is the one. Um, so I think they're hiding the fact that the project got away from them, meaning its scope, the vision of what they wanted, and the scope of it, and all that. Um, they saw all this money start flooding in, and they go, oh well, we can do this, and we can do this, and we can do this, instead of saying, well, let's make a beautiful game that is functional, no bugs, and get it out. We can start working on all that as updates. They didn't do that though. They didn't release the game. That's what's scary. It's like, you know, No Man's Sky released, and it was nowhere near what they promised, and they got all kinds of shit for it. And it was horrible PR and everything else. And then they decided to fix that problem and start doing updates, and now everybody loves that game. Star Citizen could have done the same thing. Star Citizen could have said, well, let's get a good game out, and then we got all this extra money from all this crowdfunding that people have invested and trusted us with. We'll start doing monthly content updates and start adding all this stuff. They didn't do that though. So see you, Lindis. Yeah, go have time with your mom. Hey John, good afternoon. Happy Mother's Day. Palindrome. Yeah, No Man's Sky is actually pretty good. Yeah, and so do you agree with me, Palindrome, that if Star Citizen, if they had good faith in mind, could they not have done the same thing and put out the game and said, we know that you guys have given us all this money and we're going to add all this stuff in as regular updates, but we wanted to get something out to you that you could play. So, you know, that's just my feelings on it. Bastille says, I really enjoyed seeing the Dragonlance board game from Thursday. Thanks, Bastille. Yeah. So we have another show and tell here that I'm going to go over. Oh yeah, I refuse to buy into their hype. Yeah, I haven't given them a penny. So I feel for the first time I can actually, yeah, I got burnt on Kickstarters and the Intellivision thing, the Amico thing, and I said I ain't never doing any more crowdfunding. I don't give a shit what the project is. I don't care. I will wait for it to come out on retail when I can physically buy it and know that I'm going to get what I'm paying for. No, and that's no shade at people that still want to do that. I have no problem with other people having more faith than I have in people. I just don't have enough faith in people to do the right thing now, you know. So John says that sounds reasonable. Too many companies putting out half-finished games these days and demanding expansion pack purchases to get the rest. Exactly. Where with Star Citizen, what they should have done is put out a really good game, and then but have a roadmap and say, we know you guys gave us $500 million, so none of this that's going to be coming out is going to be you have to pay for. It's going to be free content updates, and have a roadmap for that, and that's what they should have done, because $500 million is a lot of goddamn money. So that's just my opinion. You know. Palindrome says, did you show any more of your Dark Tower setup? I have not on camera, and I still have yet to play my first game of it. I still got to do that too. So let's get on with the show and tell for today, because today's is kind of special. Now, those of you that play PC games, everybody knows Half-Life. And the reason I'm wearing this hat is because this is Half-Life 2, by the way, obviously with the little 2 there. But when Half-Life 2 Episode 2 was announced that it was going to come out on Steam, they had different options that you could buy. There was like a silver, and then the gold package is what I got. Now, the gold package, as far as I know, is this product is the only physical product that Valve ever sold. Because everything else has been digital only. But this one, they actually shipped out a physical box. So this is the Half-Life 2 episode 2, the what they called the orange box. This is the gold edition, directly from Valve. This is not a retail box because it wasn't sold retail. This is that, and then that's the front, and that's the back. It is not, like I said, it's not a retail box. You don't see all the retail bullshit on it. Like you don't see all the MSRP and all that other. None of that's on here because it's not a retail box. So anyway, that's the box. This hat came as part of this. So you got the hat, and then here's the actual game box itself. And again, because and I'll cover that up. So this was the box that you got, and this was because they did have this for retail separately, but it didn't have this cardboard thing in here. And then what you got in there was you got Half-Life 2 Episode 2, Portal, and Team Fortress 2. That was in so those were the games. Now, everybody knows that Half-Life 2 was a masterpiece. Everybody knows that Portal was a masterpiece. And everybody knows that Team Fortress 2 has been massive. So that was just the games that you got. And there's multiple CDs in there. There's the side thing, if you guys want to see that. And then in addition to that and the hat, you also got this big bad boy right here. This was the strategy guide, the Half-Life 2 strategy guide from Prima, official game guide. And that sucker is beefy. That is one, and it's beautiful in there too. A lot of artwork and stuff. It's a beautiful book. This has a price tag of $25, $24.99. So you got those games, this, the hat, and then in addition, there's still more to go. So in here, in addition to the discs, there were 2 postcards. Actually, this is a sticker. This is a postcard. Greetings from City, what was it? City 17, yeah. Greetings from City 17. With where you start out with in Half-Life 2, with all the thugs there, the jackbooted thug guys, the guards there. So anyway, that's a postcard. There's the other side of it. And then this is a sticker, Half-Life 2, which I've never used, obviously, because it's got this thing on it. So that actually might go on my gaming rig at some point. But so far I have not used it. So now let's recap. You got the games, you got the book, you got the hat, the beautiful box and all that stuff. And then the coup de grace was, and I got to be careful here, you got 3 posters. So to start off with, you have Alex, which of course everybody loved. Great character. By the way, watching this show and tell here is going to make you want to fire Half-Life 2 back up again, if it hasn't already. So I'm trying to be careful with these because I don't want to damage them. And then there's Gordon Freeman. Another beautiful poster. And then finally, I don't remember this character's actual name. I think everybody just calls him the briefcase guy. Am I wrong, or is that just the briefcase guy? Or do I not remember this guy's name? Anybody know? But I decided I got to hang these up. they've been folded up long enough. I don't like necessarily. I didn't want to damage them, but I'm gonna go ahead and have to, with push pins. I'm gonna have to put them up. I have a spot in my staircase where those can go. So yeah, I have that to do, and yeah, he's like the cigarette smoking man in X-Files. Yeah, basically. I have a spot for that, so I have that to do, and then I have the labeling I want to do on the boxes for my collection before I do the updated tour video. That's the last two things I want to do. So, what did you guys think about that show and tell? Now, everything that I showed you. So you got the 3 games. You got Portal, Half-Life 2 Episode 2, and Team Fortress 2 when they first came out. So like Team Fortress 2 now I think is free, I think. But back then it cost money. So you got, hey, Eddie Green's there. Happy Mother's Day, Eddie Green. So you got all 3 of those games. This hat. So let's just say $20 for a hat, right? That's a pretty average price for a ball cap now, right? About $20. This big $25 Half-Life 2, book, which, so let's say 20 and 25, so $45. The 3 games, let's say each one of those, even if they were at the time $20 a piece, that would be $60 just for the games. So now we're at what, $105. The sticker and the postcard, let's just say $5 for the 2 of them. So now we're up to $110, and then the 3 posters, let's just say $5 each for the posters. That would be 15 more dollars. That would be $120 worth of stuff, right? That's just my conservative guess. And this whole thing shipped to me and then there was also some digital stuff. Like you got some stuff in Team Fortress 2, like some additional hats and shit like that. It was, if I remember correctly, it was $79.99. It was $80 for all of that. So now, having said all of that, I went on, before I did this, I went on to eBay. I can't even find these on eBay. I don't know how many of them they shipped out. Being the only physical thing that I know that Valve ever sold. And I couldn't find any on eBay, so I don't even know what it would be. And I have all the original parts here. I have everything that came with it. I have no idea what this would be worth now. So I couldn't even find the posters. Like no one was selling the posters individually. So what do you guys think? I think that was a hell of a bargain for $80. And $80 back when this came out, I forget what year it was. But, that was now you pay $80 just for one PC game now. They're $60, but some of them, like if you get the deluxe edition, they're $80 now. And this, you got 3 games and all this other stuff for $80. So I think that was a pretty good deal. What do you guys think? Did any of you guys? That's a stupid question, AJ. I was just gonna say, did any of you guys play Half-Life 2? But I'm sure that most people here, if they play PC games, they played Half-Life 2. And a lot of people played Portal, and a lot of people played Team Fortress 2. So yeah, just for the hell, if they were to release those 3 games now, just for $80 for the 3 digital games, it'd probably be worth it at this point, So, and I can't remember. I think you might have got. I think Day of Defeat. There was a game called Day of Defeat, and then whatever the Counter-Strike version was at that time, I think that also was included. But I could be wrong. They were smaller titles, but those days are long gone. Yeah. PC games with fancy manuals and maps and stuff, no more. Yeah. So anyway, you know, I was trying to find something different for you guys for a show and tell, and I had to. That's why things probably look different behind me because I got my minis case up there because I had to move a bunch of shit to get to this. But I wanted to give you guys something a little different to see. Now? Here's a good question. Have we got 7 people in here? Did any of you do this? Did any of you guys buy this gold edition from this physical version? Um, and maybe that's why I'm not finding any on eBay. Maybe a lot of people. Maybe there's a lot of people that didn't. No one really bought it. You know. Bastille. Oh, thank you for bringing that up, Bastille. I hear Isle of Dread is coming for DDO, uh, Dungeons and Dragons Online. I think it's 130 or 140 bucks for the Ultimate Fan version. Now, is there physical stuff involved with that? Is there like anything that they're going to ship, or is that all digital? 130, 140 bucks for just the digital stuff. Bastille, you never played even the first Half-Life? Because let me tell you, my friend, if you never played the original Half-Life or Half-Life 2, yeah, you need to. Palindrome says, I generally didn't get the collector's edition PC stuff. I spent most of my cash on vinyl records and TTRPG stuff. That's understandable. Yeah, I always call myself the what is it I call myself? The collector's edition moron is what I call it, because I'm the moron that spent probably way too much on all these collector's editions and stuff. So, yeah. Bastille says I work a lot. Well, I'm just I gotta see. I gotta pull it up now because the original Half-Life might not even. It might be like $3 or something. Let's take a look here. It's $10. It's $9.99 for the original Half-Life. Half-Life, the one you want is Half-Life Source, so it's the same price. So, Bastille, if you do decide you want to play the original Half-Life, and Half-Life 2 is only $10 too, so for $20 you can get both. That's crazy. And then Half-Life Episode 2, which is what this was the sequel. That's another $8. So you're looking at $28 to have the entire Half-Life franchise. But yeah, you want to get the Half-Life Source because that was the updated engine. John says the only games I went all out on were Neverwinter Knights and the Baldur's Gate series. So I have the Neverwinter Knights collector's box, which I think I showed that as a show and tell a long time ago, and it wasn't on a live. I did an actual video about it, but maybe I'll dig it out again. So, John, did you get the Neverwinter Nights collector's edition that had the shirt, the badass shirt, long sleeve, beautiful shirt, in the collector's, a big ass box? Is that the one you got? Because you'll be the only other person besides me that I know that got that. So, I still have the shirt too. So, I try not to wear it too much because I don't want to keep washing it and like have it fade on me or anything. So, yeah, I guess if I ever went to like a strictly, like computer game convention that was like PC games or just, video games in general, I think I would wear this hat with that shirt. That would be my cred. And then I would put my Ultima Online pin. I have an Ultima Online pin. I'd put my Ultima Online pin on this hat and my Dungeon Master pin from the cartoon on it, and my RPGA pin from the old days of the Role Playing Game Association pin. Yeah, I'd be walking around fully decked out. I did have it. Yes, John says he did have the shirt. Too many moves and it was lost, unfortunately. I'm sorry, man. I am really sorry. So you have the rest. I mean, but aside from the shirt, the books that were in there and the poster, I got the poster hanging up. I do have that poster hanging up in my hallway. So, or not my stairwell coming down here. So when I do the updated tour one, you'll see it on there. Yeah, that was one of the best collector's editions ever put out, was the Neverwinter Knights collector's edition. It was incredible. And then the Baldur's Gate, I don't think I have the Baldur's Gate. If there was a collector's edition physical for that one, I don't think I got that one, but I have the Baldur's Gate 2 collector's edition. And you know that because if you go to my YouTube front page, it's my most viewed video of all time. It's the one where I'm talking about when they announced Baldur's Gate 3 and I show my Baldur's Gate 2. It's the thumbnail and it has that collector's edition that I'm showing. It's got like 22,000 views or whatever. So, yeah, I've got that. Palindrome says, I am a bigger moron. I had a chance to get in on the first edition Magic the Gathering cards and didn't know what it was, so I passed. So you and me both, Palindrome. I walked in and out of a place called the Last Grenadier in Burbank, California. It is a famous game store that is no longer there. They went bankrupt or went out of business. I don't know if they went bankrupt, but they closed. They went out of business at one point. That was my game store for ever. And I can't tell you when Magic the Gathering came out, I cannot tell you how many times I walked right past all the Magic the Gathering shit to get my D&D stuff. And at that time, and maybe like you and I maybe were in the same boat, I only had so many dollars to spend on gaming stuff. And it was always like, well, I got to get the next D&D module, or I got to, that type of stuff. Magic the Gathering was like, well, what's that? Oh, it's a card game. I'm like, I don't play card games. I didn't know what the hell it really was, but I knew that I didn't play card games. So I'm like, nah. Literally, I went, nah, nah. I had a chance. I could have bought, like you said, the original cards and probably would have had a Black Lotus. Now I know what a Black Lotus is. I would have had no idea what anything was at that time. So yes, Palindrome, if you're still in here, it wasn't just it wasn't just you. Let's see if I missed what I miss here. John says I'm pretty poor with first person shooter games. I've been meaning to play Deus Ex as a Cyberpunk fan recently, but never dipped too much into first person shooter. That said, I played the hell out of Fallout and Cyberpunk 2077. The original Deus Ex, Eddie, was incredible. The original Deus Ex is in the pantheon of groundbreaking PC titles. And there's a meme that goes around sometimes if you're on other social media sites and stuff. If you're on forums and stuff like that, if someone mentions the original Deus Ex, they go, oh, now everybody's got to go fire it up again, because just the mention of it makes people want to go and play it again. That's so, yeah. That's one that, and I don't know if I think that's got to be about $5 on Steam. Let's see here. The original Deus Ex. Game of the Year edition is $6.99, so $7 for the original Deus Ex. Now and of course with the Steam sales all the time, that'll drop to like, $3 or something during a sale. But yeah, that's one series that everybody should play as well. Yeah, Eddie, yeah, that is I highly recommend that one. So, you also said Neverwinter Nights. I never got into Neverwinter Nights, which yeah, you would love that one too. Still playing Baldur's Gate Torment. Playing if you like Baldur's Gate and Torment, you would love Neverwinter Nights as well. It's just up there with the rest of them. So let's see, make sure I didn't miss anything here. Okay. All right. Well, I don't think I missed anything here. I got to look into this Isle of Dread thing for DDO because I got to know if that's. I'm gonna have to find out if there's any physical $130, $140. That's crazy. If they're willing to ship you like a physical collector's edition, well, that's a different story. Let's go here and let's check it out right now. Ultimate Fan Bundle. The Isle of Dread content, the Tabaxi character race, a character slot, Dread Dinosaur Hunter cosmetic outfit, Clawfoot mount, Dread Pirate cosmetics, Swift Raptor mount, Heroic and Improved Autos, Epic Autos box, which I'm guessing is Iconic Hero Trailblazer, Destiny Tome, and more bonus items. Yes, that does not look for $130. It does not look like there's anything physical that they're shipping to you. This looks like it's all digital. The collector's edition is $80, and the standard edition is $40. And that is all. I don't see any physical version available. Good grief. There was the Secret Assault March. I didn't even know they had that. Came out for DDO. Well, they had all kinds of different things come out for it. I still have my account, I'm sure. So I may have to check DDO out again. Anyway, any questions on anything we talked about, guys? Any comments? Any suggestions? I didn't know DDO was apparently DDO might be doing well. I guess if they're dropping that much content for it. I'm happy that it's doing well. Because I like anything D&D related. The Neverwinter Nights that's out now, the faux MMO, Neverwinter Nights, the free to play one. That one I can't necessarily endorse in any way, shape, or form because it's not. To me, that's not Dungeons and Dragons. It's not an MMO. It's to me, it's almost like a mobile game on your PC. I mean, that's just how I feel about it. But Eddie Green, yeah, the MMO Neverwinter Nights is horrible. Yeah. I mean, again, I don't see it as a true D&D product, and I don't see it as a true MMO. So it fails on both of those fronts. It's more about selling loot boxes and shit like that. See you, Palindrome. Yeah, I don't know very many people that are like true D&D players that endorse the current Neverwinter Nights. I think it's for younger kids who like the follow the trail microtransaction thing, and that's fine if that's what they like. I got no problem with it, but it's for me, it's not D&D and it's not an MMO. So, John, I missed John's comment where he says, yes, the Neverwinter Night stuff was top drawer right before BioWare sold out. Yep. Yeah, that's what happens with, these corporate takeovers and buyouts and mergers and all that other stuff. The consumer is who suffers, because when you could get quality products like that collector's, even the Baldur's Gate 2 collector's edition was very nice. Um, uh, hey, Mistra, EA-ware. Yeah, exactly. Um, hey, Mistra, what was the, I saw something on Twitter or something about there was an announcement for Final Fantasy 14, and I didn't take the time to like really look into it. But now that I just saw you pop in, it reminded me of it. You know what I'm talking about? See if I can find it. Maybe it was this. No, that's 4 weeks ago. What was? See if I can find it here. I know there was something. Final Fantasy limited edition guitar will set you back $3,500. What? Is it a real? Is it a real physical guitar you can buy, or is it in the game for $3,500? Yeah, it was. I don't remember what it was, but and I just looked up I did a news search and I didn't see anything that. So it might have just been some minor thing somebody tweeted out that I was going to ask you about, but obviously it wasn't too big. So, but I didn't. I just now saw this $3,500 guitar thing. That's on Games Radar. What the hell are they talking about? Okay, it is. It is a real guitar, and it's just Final Fantasy 14 themed. It's a physical guitar. That's why it's $3,500. Okay, I thought because it looks like the screen cap they're showing it in the game, like someone playing a guitar in the game. And that's why I was thinking, holy shit, that'd be a hell of a lot for cosmetic. Eddie says it's from their custom shop. Yeah, it is in the game too. Okay. Well, yeah. I hope that the the in-game item isn't $3,500. Wow. These tie-ins are getting kind of crazy, aren't they? Okay, guys. Well, we're almost at an hour. I hope everybody had a good Mother's Day. Did I miss anybody's questions or comments or anything? I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Speak up if I missed you. Make sure everybody that checked in and said hi and all that, appreciate it. We'll do our campaign update tomorrow. Oh, hey Eddie, are you still in here? I have a question for you if you are. So we rolled up secondary characters for me and Brad because we split the campaign in two different directions. And I rolled a investigator based upon your rules. And as you said that took the elf class's place. So I did an investigator, and I convinced the DM. I said, well, because at first he didn't want me to even be able to wear leather armor, and I was like, well, as an investigator, I can use. I'm doing the Inquisitor side, so I'm using cleric spells, and I said, well, I should be able to wear leather armor, because if I were a cleric, I'd get like chainmail which I can't wear. So as a trade-off, I should be able to wear leather. And then the question was, I said to him, because I didn't see it in your book specifically, but in my mind, I would think that I would have a certain number of thief skills as an investigator. It just seems like that would go hand in hand. Um, that's not delineated in your book. So now that I have you here, I can ask you: is that meant to be that way? That I should have some thief skills as an investigator, um, or not? Because that he basically said, you know, that he wished it was in the book specifically, but I thought that was something that between the DM and I we could just work out. But okay, thanks, Edward. Yeah, that was my thoughts. Were as you know, because when I think of the investigator class that you created, I think of Van Helsing that hunted Dracula and all that. Um, I think of that, or even to a certain extent, The Witcher. Um, so, um, so Geralt, a mix between Geralt and Van Helsing. So there would have to be some ability to pick locks and maybe not pick pockets. You know, not that would be like for a true thief to pick someone's pocket or whatever, but maybe picking locks to get into a place, um, hiding in shadows. I would think. So, uh, or even a racial enemy like a ranger. Exactly. Interestingly, I will be playing an elf investigator in a forthcoming adventure. Well, there you go, Bastille. Right on. I just thought it was a fascinating class, you know, because I was like, that's Van Helsing or Geralt, you know, that type of character. So, yep. So anyway, and I'll go into like when I do my campaign update tomorrow. Um, I will go into the role playing that I did as in our first session, the way I approached things as an investigator. So, um, you can let me know what you think. You both you guys can let me know what you think about how I played the character and everything. So, but that'll be tomorrow. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna head out. Um, you guys have a good rest of your Sunday, and we'll catch you on the flip side. And I will. You'll see my campaign update tomorrow. So, cheers, guys.